Great Mystery Philadelphia by Ross Ben. Introduction: Magic versus Illusion. The basic premise of this book is that the city of Philadelphia is an urban act of magic. To fully comprehend the intention within the premise, one must be able to distinguish between magic and illusion. Illusion is the art of using the laws of optics, misdirected attention, and secret tricks to create the appearance that an illusionist fronting as a magician defies the laws of nature in an instant. Pulling animals out of sleeves, sawing people in half, escaping from sealed chambers, all illusion. Magic is the science of using the magnetic energy of the omniverse, an omniversal law, to manifest one's will and intention. Historically, one who can do this is considered a magi. A magi and illusionist differ in key ways. An illusionist works in public in front of crowds to attract attention. A magi is seldom seen doing his or her works in public, yet their works tend to be hidden in plain sight. An illusionist rarely reveals their tricks or secrets. A magi is completely transparent and reveals everything that is being willed into manifestation. The illusionist works only in the present, attempting to trick those immediately in front of them in an instant. A magi molds the past and uses the cycles of space-time to manifest their will, not only in the present, but in the future as well. In fact, it can be said that the most powerful way to manifest one's will on the earth plane is to manipulate the fabric of space-time and control or determine the outcome of historic and prophetic timelines. This is the ultimate level of magic, and the city of Philadelphia is an attempt at this. The ones conducting this magic would identify themselves as Rosicrucian, or members of the Order of the Rosy Cross. The discipline of magic they are conducting they would identify as Hermetic science, or teachings on Hermetic law. Hermes is the Greek name for Tahuti of Kemet, the biblical Enoch, and the Roman messenger Mercury. The universal law that governs the flow of magnetism is revealed in Hermetic teachings, and the classic Rosicrucian text that outlines these laws is the Kybalion, scribed by 3 anonymous initiates. The Kybalion identifies 7 basic universal laws that must be honored for one to successfully align their personal will and intention with omniversal magnetic force. The law of mentalism: all is mind. Consciousness births manifested creation. Anything manifests first starts as a thought. The mental plane is supreme over the physical plane. The principle of correspondence: as above, so below. The cosmic plane, solar system, and galaxy has no corresponding manifestation with things on the earth plane. Moreover, the molecular plane has corresponding manifestations on the earth plane. The principle of vibration: everything is vibrating, everything is moving at a certain frequency. Through resonance or like vibration, corresponding things across the planes, cosmic, earth, molecular, can connect and influence one another. The principle of polarity: the earth plane is one of duality. Whatever manifests on this plane will also birth its polar opposite. The principle of rhythm: vibration usually is not random. Frequency occurs in measured intervals that form a rhythm or a cycle. Therefore, timing and synchronization with cycles is a necessary art and science. The principle of cause and effect: every action brings about an equal and opposing reaction. Every effect manifests has seen and unseen karmic causes. The principle of gender: on this polarized earth plane, when opposing forces come together, a generative energy is produced. These Hermetic laws will be referenced at various points within this work to give deeper insight as to why some things are the way they are in the proclaimed city of brotherly love. Who are the Rosy Cross? The Order of the Rosy Cross is not a secret society. Rosicrucianism is well known, and virtually anyone can join certain chapters. Nor are Rosicrucians a society of secrets. They are rather transparent with their goals and mission, although to uninitiated or unconscious people, their magical plan tends to be hidden in plain sight. Moreover, There are different branches and orders within the realm of Rosicrucianism, so it is difficult to identify who they are, other than to say ones who are inspired by and follow the teachings associated with the founder, Christian Rosencreuz. To fully understand Philadelphia as a Rosicrucian urban act of magic, we must start this research with the lore, life, and legacy of Christian Rosencreuz. From Rosencreuz's legacy, 6 more key figures will be explored to show Philadelphia's place in the past, present, and potential future manifestations of Rosy Cross magic. They are Francis Bacon, John Portage, Johann Kelp, William Penn, Elias Boudinot, and Ben Franklin. Philadelphia, the name. Etymologically, Philadelphia is derived from the Greek phil, love of, liking of, as in attracted to something, and Adelphi literally from the same woman. The root of Adelphi is Delphis, which means womb. Other words that share this root include delphine, dolphin, aquatic mammal with womb; Delphi, ancient Greek city that housed the temple of Apollo and the oracle of Delphi. In Greek mythology, Philadelphia was the love exemplified by Castor and Pollux, the Dioscuri, sons of Zeus. They were from the same womb, Leda, the queen of Sparta. However, Castor was mortal, being fathered by King Sparta, Tyndareus. Pollux, on the other hand, was immortal because his mom was seduced and impregnated by Zeus in the form of a swan right before she lay with the king. Throughout their lives, the twins were inseparable, and the love Pollux displayed at Castor's impending death moved Zeus to immortalize both of them in the heavens. We know of Castor and Pollux today as their Roman name, Gemini. This Greek mythology is the root to how Philadelphia got the title City of Brotherly Love and Sisterly Affection. There was also an ancient city that bore the name Philadelphia, although it was not located in Greece, but in modern Turkey. Its modern name is Alasahir, and it sits on the elevated plateau next to Mount Buzdag, ancient Tamaulipas, in western Turkey. Found in around 2000 BCE, it was unique geographically in that it had an enormous fertile plain formed by the Hermes River, modern Gadiz River, making it a very desirable place to live because food was easily available in abundance. However, it was prone to frequent and violent earthquakes, causing people to avoid brick and stone building materials, choosing instead to build with wood and thatch. It was thus a natural city sustained with nature's abundance, with beautiful mountain vistas. Early Christians settled in this region, and it is because of this that many attribute this city to the one referenced in the biblical prophecy of Revelations. Philadelphia holds a powerful place in biblical prophecy. Of the 7 churches that are addressed in the final chapter of the Bible, the Church of Philadelphia is the only church that receives a favorable prophecy. To the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, "These are the words of him who are holy and true, who holds the key of David. What he opens no one can shut, and what he shuts no one can open. I know your deeds. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. I will make those who are of the synagogue of Satan, who claim to be Jews, though they are not, but are liars. I will make them come and fall down at your feet, and acknowledge that I have loved you. Since you have kept my command to endure patiently, I will also keep you from the hour of trial that is going to come on the whole world, to test the inhabitants of the earth. I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have, so that no one will take your crown. The one who is victorious I will make a pillar in the temple of my God. Never again will they leave it. I will write on them the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, the New Jerusalem, which is coming down out of heaven from my God, and I will also write on them my new name. Moreover, whoever has ears, Let them hear what the Spirit says to the churches. Consistent with Hermetic law, names carry a vibration and a certain frequency. This is ultimately why William Penn named his holy experiment Philadelphia, to imprint upon the city the frequency connected to this name historically and in prophecy. William Penn did not name his city Philadelphia simply because the word means city of brotherly love in Greek, and he reveals the ultimate intention in his prayer for Philadelphia. And thou, Philadelphia, virgin settlement of this province, named before thou wast born, what love, care, service, and travail there have been to bring thee forth and preserve thee from such as would abuse and defile thee. Oh, that thou mayest be kept from the evil that would overwhelm thee, faithful to the end. My soul prays to God for thee, that thou mayest stand in the day of trial, that thy children may be blessed of the Lord, and thy people saved by his power. Why name the city Philadelphia? To initiate a series of historic events that mimic fulfillment of biblical prophecy, but ultimately serve nefarious intention. What is the nefarious intention? Resurrect the Roman Empire in such a way that the prophecy of grace through the judgment would be inverted and fall upon the empire. Swap the prophetic birthright of God's favor from the lost tribes of Israel to Gog and Magog in order to advance Rome's crusade. Manipulating historic and prophetic timelines. Manipulation of historic and prophetic timelines is nothing new. It is an ancient magic that traces from certainly Roman and probably Babylonian times. For the purpose of this work, we will identify 4 ways of manipulation. Anathema, pervert and distort prophetic teachings. Learn prophecy, then enact historic events to prevent the prophecy from being fulfilled. Learn prophecy, then enact historic events that mimic fulfillment but ultimately serve nefarious intention. Anathema means to make as if it did not exist. It manipulates prophetic timelines by eliminating any reference to certain prophecy. The most significant prophecy made anathema by Rome is the Book of Enoch. Enoch is the first prophet and the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, the only ancient church to retain this book within its Bible, considers it the father of all prophecy. As first prophet, Enoch was highly honored and frequently referenced among early Hebrews and Gnostics. The Essenes honored the Book of Enoch, and fragments are among the Dead Sea Scrolls. Enoch's teachings are the foundation of biblical prophecy and symbolism. Revelations is a redacted summary of Enoch's prophecies. Several early church fathers quoted and/or based doctrinal teachings in accordance with the Book of Enoch, including Tatian, 110 to 172 CE current era, Clement of Alexandria, 150 to 220 CE, Tertullian, 160 to 230 CE, Justin Martyr, 130 CE, Athenagoras, 170 CE, Lactantius, 260 to 330 CE, Origen, 186 to 255 CE. Latter church fathers began to discredit Enoch, the Book of, and its teachings. They include Julius Africanus, 200 to 245 CE, Hilary of Tours, 371 CE, Theodoret, 393 to 457 CE, Jerome, 348 to 420 CE, Chrysostom, 346 to 407 CE, labeled the book Insane Blasphemy. Philastrius, 381 CE, declared the book heresy. Augustine, 354 to 430 CE, discredited Enoch's teachings in City of God. Then Emperor Justinian in 543 CE anathematized the Book of Enoch, eliminating it and any other scripture that referenced it and all related teachings. From this point, the book is fully eradicated in the Rome-influenced world. The key change in prophecy as a result of this manipulation, paraphrased and summarized, Enoch taught that the problems with humanity are due to manipulation and enslavement by fallen angels. Though the manipulation continues the fallen angels are imprisoned in the earth for their misdeeds. These fallen angels are going to receive a very harsh judgment from a heavenly host of angels sent to earth to free suffering humanity from their manipulation and enslavement. Once achieved, humanity will inherit a heaven on earth and Eden will be restored. After the anathema of the book of Enoch, the revelation of John the Baptist became the driving prophetic vision of the Western world. This redacted prophetic vision places the origins of humanity's problems on Eve's original sin, and a harsh judgment is due, a guilty, sinful humanity played out as the destruction of Babylon. The second way to manipulate a prophetic timeline is to distort prophetic teachings. Examples of this will be noted throughout this work, but it will be noted now that the next significant manipulation of prophetic timelines after the anathema of Enoch is a perverting of prophecy in the 7th century CE. The Apocalypse of Pseudo-Matthias, although written by an obscure Syrian monk, defined prophetic vision of the so-called Middle Ages, 7th through 12th centuries. In fact, some prophetic scholars consider this work as the end of the classical era of prophecy and define Middle Age prophetic writings as those influenced by Pseudo-Matthias. The Apocalypse of Pseudo-Matthias echoes several themes in classical prophecy, the rise of an Antichrist, as well as Gog and Magog being unleashed upon the world, but it also highlights the previous distortion of a sinful humanity receiving a harsh judgment. The end times vision projects a sinful Christian society full of homosexuality, swinging and cross-dressing. The sons of Ismail, Muslims, will emerge from the desert to execute judgment upon Christians who have slipped into depravity. Pseudo-Matthias also introduces into prophetic vision for the first time the idea of an emperor savior of Rome who saves the Christian world by redeeming sinful Christians and driving the sons of Ismail off their lands. The next significant wave of prophetic perversion and distortion emerged in the 12th century and involved intentionally misidentifying those who in classical prophecy were considered Gog and Magog, Eastern Europeans of Slavic ethnicity, as the lost tribes of Israel. The idea that Gog and Magog were the lost tribes first appears in the French-born Peter Callister's 12th century Historia Scholastica. Probably the most significant and widely read in its time, however, was the Book of John Manville, written around 1360 CE. Thomas Frank, in Monsters at the End of Time, Gog and Magog, an ethnic difference in the Catalan Atlas, 1375 CE, summarizes Manville's account as follows. East of Cathay, Manville recounts, there are many countries and islands. The first geographical feature that Manville describes in this region is the Caspian Mountains, behind which dwell 22 kings and their subjects. These people, who were enclosed there by Alexander the Great with the assistance of God, and who now pay tribute to the Queen of Amazonia, are the Jews of the 10 tribes, who are called Gog and Magog, and who only know how to speak Hebrew. Manville's description of Gog and Magog concludes by noting that in Antichrist's time, these people will escape to slaughter the world's Christians. But they will not be alone. They will receive help from the rest of the world's Jews, who have learned Hebrew to know how to speak to them, Gog and Magog, and lead them into Christendom to destroy Christians. Frank, in describing the spread and influence of the Book of John Manville, states, the later Middle Ages witnessed the creation and dissemination of some of the most influential and graphic European sources to depict Gog and Magog. The Book of John Manville, 1360, a fantastical travelogue recounting the journeys of its fictitious titular traveler, was one of the most popular of these sources. First written in Anglo-Norman, by the first half of the 15th century, the book had been translated into 8 vernacular languages and existed in both insular and vernacular Latin editions. The writing and dissemination of the Book of John Manville coincides historically with the inception of the Order of the Rosy Cross. The relevance and connection of this prophetic distortion to Rosicrucianism will be explored deeper in this work. However, it should be obvious at this point that the anathema of Enoch plus the prophetic distortion of the apocalypse of Pseudo-Matthias plus the prophetic distortion of the Book of John Manville set the prophetic stage for the birth of Philadelphia on this manipulated timeline we are currently experiencing. An example of enacting historic events to prevent prophecy from being fulfilled is when Herod heard that the Son of Man was prophesied to be incarnate. He ordered all male children born in Roman-occupied Judea to be killed. This act was an attempt to prevent prophecy from being fulfilled. Other examples will be explored as a part of this research. As stated, Philadelphia is a prime example of enacting historic events that mimic fulfillment of prophecy, yet have a nefarious intention embedded within it. Public art in Philadelphia. It was stated that a magi tends to be completely transparent and reveals for all to see what intention he or she is willing into manifestation. This is to honor Hermetic law, particularly the law of mentality and the law of cause and effect. If one forces another to do his or her will without consent, a karmic cause and effect dynamic will be created which will result in the will of the Magi being denied by creation. This is known as the law of free will. This is where public art becomes significant. Philadelphia is considered a museum without walls. It has one of the most impressive collections of public art of any city in the U.S. Public art in Philadelphia is a part of this magic. To honor the law of free will, a magi has to communicate what they are doing so others will willingly participate. The Magi of the Rosy Cross do not reveal the fullness of their magnum opus in articulated languages, neither written nor oral, for the public to digest. Probably the reason why is because the intention is nefarious and would invoke mass resistance if clearly articulated in, say, English. The Magi of the Rosy Cross used the language of the Muses, art, architecture, and archetype symbols to reveal their works. It is then up to the viewer to choose to verse themselves in the language of the Muses, so they can decipher what is in front of them. Moreover, most choose to not pay attention to public art in the first place. This allows the Order of the Rosy Cross to circumvent the law of free will, and their works magnetize omniversal force without karmic retribution. As a result, a large part of this work involves deciphering the art, architecture, and archetype symbols of the city.